Before we go too much farther, I want to circle back to what Sandy was saying about the young vote. Our producer, Maya Northfleet, sat down this week with some first-time voters, some first-time to be eligible voters. Not all of them have voted. Let's hear what they have to say, what they're feeling about 2016.
Who's planning on voting in the primaries this week? Okay, let's talk about that. Why aren't you voting in the primaries?
I actually would really like to. It kind of just like crept up on me, and I was hearing all about it, not really hearing any specific dates, and then it was kind of that thing where like I wanted to register to vote, but I didn't really know how.
What has motivated you to vote in the primaries?
Really? Everybody was just like, you should register to vote in the primaries, and I was like, all right, sounds good. So I just decided to register to vote.
Oh, I mean, I feel like it's important because you want to choose who the nomination is for whatever party that you're going to vote for. I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was asking her if she was going to vote and who she was voting for, and she was like, "Oh, I don't vote." And I was like, "Well, I mean, why wouldn't you vote? And if you don't, you can't really complain about the situation."
What are the things that you're like really needing a candidate to pay attention to?
So I really don't like how our education system is currently set up, just the way that it's funded, and I don't like how like socioeconomic status can essentially determine the success of a child.
I feel like there's such a division in our country right now, and I want to see the United States become united again, honestly, because I don't think anything can happen until we all kind of see each other as people.
When I do talk to mostly adults, they try and like disregard the opinions of millennials, and people tend to think that some of the things that we want are unrealistic.
It's just because we don't vote. There's so many young people that don't vote.
How much have you been focusing on state elections? We have a new governor coming. Like, is that on your radar at all?
No.
No.
When you like look at local elections, all you see is like a bolded name on like a little piece of paper in front of somebody's front lawn. And so basically I would say with like local elections, you have to work a little bit harder to find information.
Ultimately, do you feel like your individual vote matters?
I think it's really important, and I think it's really important that more people realize that. I feel like so many people disregard that idea because they're like, no, one person can't make a change, that's ridiculous.
I'm just ready for it all to be over, really, because I mean, I feel like it really brings out like a crazy in people.
It does.
Like,
It brings out the worst
about
in
it,
people.
yeah.
Like I was gonna put a Bernie sticker on the back of my car, and then I'm like, people gonna think I'm a socialist.
It causes so much tension between people who like on any other day would get along and would just see each other as human beings and just like love each other and be chill. Like, oh my God, politics can just tear people apart. There's so much tension.
Prescient, that is whose fault is it? Is it our fault that the young people aren't necessarily engaged? Have we set a bad example? That doesn't seem like maybe something that's very appealing to get into.
I think that I see young people very engaged and then they get disillusioned, and that's what I'm afraid is going to happen as, you know, Bernie's camp has, you know, engaged a lot of students. In fact, they were saying in the articles that I've been reading that it's all the states with all the colleges, like there's some states with 400 universities, and he's appealing to all these college students. And what's going to happen if he is not the candidate? Are they going to come out and vote? You know, are they going to take their citizenship responsibility seriously and vote? You know, just exercise their right to vote.
If the excitement of Bernie is gone, will they still be engaged?
And that's what I'm very, very concerned about, because you saw that in the 2008 to 2012 election, where the young people came out in droves, 18 to 28-year-old, and voted for Obama. The numbers fell off in 2012. They just weren't as excited when he ran for re-election. So I am concerned. You know, it's up to us. It's up to all the educators that inspire the young people, both in high school and colleges, to try to get them to understand their civic responsibility, that it's the voting. It's becoming an informed voter, and you have to
actually go to the ballot. You can't just be engaged on social media.
You have to make some choices and determine, you know, which candidate is best for you.
But I think it's also up to the candidates as well. I think that the Clinton campaign they will have a challenge. I mean, assuming that she continues with her lead, they're going to have a challenge to try to get the kids who've been energized for Sanders to at least come out and vote for Clinton. But this is an odd situation. I covered the Sanders rally last Sunday, and I was asking several of the attendees who were big Sanders fans, young people, and I asked them, if he doesn't get it, who's your second choice? Well, they all said they'll vote for Clinton. They're not going to vote for Trump. In fact, they hate him. So the one thing that may help her is that potentially you may have some of these young people turn out not because they're for Clinton,
against Trump.
But they're against Trump. But things can change. I mean, things can change so rapidly these days.